business owners and independent contractors. Get affordable insurance with Sagicor Pro Shield. The time by Sagicor Life is
7 o'clock. CVM News at 7 headlines Thursday. Brought to you by Guardian Life. Live secure. Live easy.
Tonight in CVM News at 7, the new Director of Public Prosecutions has been named. Central Kingston under 48-hour curfew after shooting, and Indicom sounds alarm on police conduct. In the business report, deepening commercial ties between the UK and Jamaica. And in sports, Dijon Whisper Richards joins Reggae Boys squad.
CVM News at 7 headlines Thursday. Brought to you by Guardian Life. Live secure. Live easy.
Should critical illness strike? Don't let worry fill your head. Say hello to happiness and goodbye to worry with Guardian Life's new Ultimate Provider Plan. Secure your medical expenses in the event of critical illness ahead of time while benefiting from our investment portfolio and so much more. Give yourself and your family the peace of mind you deserve with Guardian Life's new Ultimate Provider Plan today. And live secure. Live easy.
From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7. It's Thursday, October 9, 2025. I'm Nika Lewis. Thanks for having joined us. Up first this evening, 2 men are dead and at least 4 on the run as police hunt the suspects involved in Sunday's mass murder in Commodore District, Linstead in St. Catherine. The men were killed in 2 joint police military operations Thursday and 2 firearms, including an M16 rifle, seized. Giovanni has been tracking that story.
Yellow tape, police from the Major Investigations Division and crime scene investigators processing this abandoned car. It's the aftermath of what police say was a shootout with a group of men suspected to have been involved in Sunday's massacre, which left 5 dead and 4 wounded in Commodore District, Linstead, including 4-year-old Shannon Gordon. 1 man was killed. Christopher Phillips is the Assistant Commissioner in charge of the Area 5 Police.
A police team intercepted a vehicle in which several men were traveling along Grange Lane in St. Catherine, South Division. The occupants of the vehicle reportedly opened fire at the police. Gunfire was returned, and when the shooting subsided, 1 man was found suffering from gunshot wound. In that incident, a pistol was seized from the injured man. So he was taken to the Spanish Town Hospital where he was pronounced dead.
Several men fled the vehicle and police suspect the men were in the process of relocating.
Several persons reportedly ran from that vehicle. The police, I gather, were in pursuit. So far we're not able to find any of those persons, but the vehicle suggests to us that these persons, basically were moving out. A number of several item of clothing found in the vehicle.
This was the second of what police describe as 2 intelligence-led operations on Thursday as lawmen hunt the suspects involved in the Linstead mass murder. The first incident happened in Knollis Bogwalk Thursday morning.
This morning, we had a joint police military operation was conducted, intelligence-led, of course, at Jewel's Estate in Knollis Bogwalk area. The police team, upon entering the premises, the team was confronted by a man armed with a rifle who pointed the weapon in the direction of the officers. The lawmen, of course, opened fire, and the man was later pronounced dead. An M16 rifle along with a magazine and ammunition were seized.
ACP Phillips says while the details cannot be made public at this time, the probe continues.
Detectives from both St. Catherine North and South are conducting further investigations, and the overall investigation is being led by the Major Investigation Division. We can confirm, though, that these two incidents are connected to our ongoing investigations. As it is now, I would not want to say too much more on it because I would describe it as a very delicate but dangerous kind of situation.
Giovanni Dennis, CVM News.
In the meantime, ACP Phillips says further operations will take place in and around Commodore in St. Catherine, noting that the current curfew will continue into the weekend.
Residents within the Linstead area are to anticipate further police operations and increased presence in and around the Commodore environs. You would be aware that we have imposed curfews in sections of Commodore, Banbury, and Trinity in the St. Catherine North Division. So rest assured.
How long will those curfews continue for?
Right. So we have imposed in the initial stage at 48 hours, and we're looking to extend for perhaps another 48 thereabout.
The curfew imposed in Central Kingston following Tuesday's mass shooting near Text Lane could be extended as police continue to maintain a strong presence in the area. The 48-hour curfew, which began on Wednesday, is set to expire tomorrow. Krystol Williams has this CVM News follow-up.
In Central Kingston, a drive-by shooting on Tuesday night claimed 2 lives and left 4 people injured, including children and persons living with disabilities. A 48-hour curfew was subsequently imposed in the area. 18 hours in, during a midday update from the commanding officer on the ground, Superintendent Beresford Williams offered a glimpse into the state of a section of the city on edge.
Since here, we have only recorded 2 incidents of shooting up to today. One resulted in a murder, and the shooting incident we had the other night resulting in 6 persons being shot.
Superintendent Beresford says that for the past few years, the community has seen the relative number of incidents related to crime in the area fall dramatically. His assessment at this point in time is that a curfew might be more suitable than a zone of special operations. However, regardless of the operation, the presence of the Jamaica Defence Force and the Jamaica Constabulary Force will be felt.
Based on those statistics, you would see there's not a basis to support a call for a ZOZO. One thing we have ensured is to always, as best as possible, ensure that we have deployment in the space.
He also says, though there may have been questions relating to the imposition of a zone of special operations in the area, he does not believe those criteria have been met.
The objective, given that that incident of shooting has taken place, is to ensure that we get on top of the situation early to prevent any further escalation in violence, to help us to weed out any possible players that might have sneaked in the last couple of days, and to bring back normalcy to the Rose Gardens and the general Kingston Central space.
Superintendent Williams says even though the agreement to having a curfew might not be popular with everyone in the community, the force is being mindful of special situations such as that of essential workers.
The general concern would be with the fact that we have implemented a curfew, that not all persons would be in support of that. We are mindful of the critical nature that these people play. We do allow some business activities, particularly during the day, but we tend to go a little harder at night.
Superintendent Williams says the possibility of extending the curfew beyond 48 hours is being reviewed.
We will be reviewing early tomorrow morning to see what the situation is, and then we make the recommendation from there. The possibilities do exist that we could ask for it to be extended.
Krystol Williams, CVM News.
An appeal this evening to firearm holders to practice greater responsibility and restraint when handling their weapons. This after a man was captured on video brandishing a firearm and assaulting another motorist during a road rage incident earlier this week. Amoy Harriet tells us more.
This was along Constant Spring Road in St. Andrew on Monday, a few minutes before this confrontation. Now, the driver of the white Toyota Probox seen here allegedly hit a grey SUV along Eastwood Park Road, but failed to stop. The driver of the SUV chased the Probox along Constant Spring Road. The chase ended in a heated confrontation, during which the SUV driver brandished a firearm and attacked the other motorist. Now, the firearm holder is believed to be a member of the Jamaica Defence Force. The Firearm Licensing Authority FLA has since seized the gun, while the police are said to be investigating the incident and charges are expected to be laid. Now, security consultant Robert Finzi-Smith says while firearm discipline among license holders has improved in recent years, there are still some concerns.
Some firearm holders don't mean to be offensive, but regard it as almost a phallic symbol. Once they have it, they figure that they're omnipotent. And places where they never had to draw, they draw. I don't know to what end, but it probably makes them feel a little more powerful.
Now, security expert Dr. Jason Mackay is dismissing suggestions that the firearm application process needs an overhaul.
But I don't believe that there's any lacking in the process either. I think it's very thorough. And I think that incidents that have drawn this type of attention are things that the authority couldn't have predicted.
It has gotten very rigorous, Very few people realize how rigorous it is until you try to get a license firearm. I think that they need to have a deeper assessment of the human being that's going to be carrying the weapon of mass destruction.
Meanwhile, Dr. Mackay has this appeal.
It's a privilege, not a right. And there's only 25,000 of us in the entire island of 3 million people who have this privilege. It's so easy to lose, and it's such a dramatic impact on your life when you lose it. So whatever you do whatever you can to not lose that weapon.
Amoy Harriet reporting for CVM News.
CVM News at 7 continues in a moment.
Hi, I know you weren't expecting to see me here. Now you can find your favorite chicken and snacks in the same place. It's true. Come on in.
Introducing the delicious combination of KFC fried chicken and Doritos nacho cheese. The KFC Doritos Zinger, a crunch that's finger-licking good.
It's the Quartz Pre-Hero Day Sale, October 10 and 11, with up to 50% off store-wide. Get a TCL 43-inch Smart TV for $39,999, or a Sierra King or Queen bed frame for $69,999. Massive doorbuster deals from 8 to 10 a.m. each day, including a Mastertech 9 cubic feet refrigerator for $49,999. Enjoy 30% off credit purchases on 24 months and over. Don't miss Quartz's Pre-Hero Day Sale, October 10 and 11, with up to 50% off. Conditions apply.
Whoa! Brilliant action here at Extreme E. This is unbelievable.
Thank you so much for staying with us. A special investigative report from the Independent Commission of Investigations, INDICOM, has revealed troubling details of how some police operations are being carried out. The report found that nearly 1/3 of planned operations had no search warrants and raises serious questions about accountability and evidence handling. Akeem Oret has the details.
The numbers are staggering. Between 2022 and 2024, there were 108 fatal planned police operations, but according to INDICOM, 31 of those had no search warrants. Assistant Commissioner at INDICOM, Hamish Campbell, says the plan to coordinate a team to visit a property, arrest and search without a warrant is unlawful.
The Commission considers that planned operations to enter private property without a search warrant is, in the absence of other legislative powers, unlawful. Before officers engage in a planned operation, they ought to properly obtain the requisite authority.
And that's not the only issue. Campbell added that INDICOM's investigation found instances where private CCTV systems were damaged, removed or destroyed, with the most recent incident in September 2025.
In some planned operations, witness testimony has demonstrated quite clearly that CCTV equipment has been damaged, removed or destroyed. And evidence of prior existence and removal of the CCTV was established in 5 such cases, which occurred 2 in March and September 24, and 3 recently in January, June and September of this year.
INDICOM also highlighted ongoing problems with body-worn cameras. In one 2024 incident, the only case where such a camera was deployed, the lead officer forgot to turn it on.
It was assigned to the lead officer, who ultimately fired his weapon, in which a fatality occurred. However, the officer reports that he forgot to turn the body-worn camera on after he had been to the bathroom. In none of the other 63 planned operations in 2024, nor any other fatal or non-fatal incident in 2024, was a body-worn camera provided to any police officer.
Campbell is now reminding the JCF to use a standardized search warrant form to cite the current legislation on all warrants. INDICOM is also reiterating its recommendation that body-worn camera resources be shared to improve coverage during operations. Reporting for CVM News, I am Akeem Oret.
Former Director of Public Prosecutions Paula Llewellyn has extended heartfelt congratulations to her successor Claudette Thompson on her appointment as the new DPP. Llewellyn, who has worked closely with Thompson for over 15 years, describes her as a woman of integrity, exceptional work ethic and sound judgment. She says from her early days as a clerk of court in St. Anne to her time as a Crown Counsel, Thompson demonstrated leadership, emotional intelligence and a willingness to learn. The outgoing DPP praised her successor's courage and dedication to the highest traditions of the bar, calling her, quote, a safe pair of hands and a first-class mentor and administrator.
I recognized in her from very early the qualities of leadership, reliability, her love of the job, and of course, her integrity in how she performed her assigned tasks. She has always demonstrated the fact that she has a broad back. She's unafraid and with dignity and great courtesy, but great firmness. She is never afraid to take on any challenge. So I believe that Ms. Thompson is well equipped to carry the baton that I have passed on and to take the office of the DPP into greater heights. She, I know, will make sure that the office of the DPP continues its proud tradition and will continue to make sure that the public of Jamaica is well served.
Llewellyn also encouraged the public to give Thompson their full support as she takes on what she describes as 2 jobs, the constitutional role of DPP and the administrative responsibilities of leading a department of more than 100 staff members. Last evening, we brought you the story of Ruan Campbell, a Jamaican man who claims he was wrongfully deported from the United States despite holding legal status. Tonight, in part 2 of our exclusive series, we take a closer look at the shocking experiences Campbell says he's had while in U.S. custody and his passionate plea to Jamaican authorities and international agencies to intervene. Omari Wilson picks up that story.
When we first met Ruan Campbell, he spoke about how a single encounter changed the course of his life. But what happened after his detention paints an even darker picture, one he describes as inhumane and traumatizing. From being placed in isolation to allegedly suffering abuse at the hands of law enforcers, his experience behind bars left scars far deeper than those visible on the surface.
So I was arrested from September 12, no charges, in jail until September 21st. And when they released me, and they couldn't charge me. And then they arrested me again a second time. And from then, the only time I released is when when they released me back in Jamaica.
The question remains, what really happened behind those detention walls? Campbell recalls the harsh reality of life in U.S. custody.
Because I was knocked out cold in jail, and not even knowing I was knocked out, I just know I wake up on the floor. For nothing, I have deputies who physically assault me, and I have medical record of that also, and all of that. So then this is what it is, sir. It was very, very hard to know I was in there getting abused, getting battered by both inmate and deputies for no reason. I don't do anything.
When lockdown measures were enforced, the situation only worsened. Confined to his cell with no time to engage with other inmates, Campbell describes how conditions quickly took a toll.
Because here that you can go to work or mingle with others, I don't have no access. I have to be in my cell until everybody is locked down, then I come out for what? When they are the one who do me harm.
What followed, he says, was even more disturbing.
Because the glass is dark, you cannot see who's out in the hallway. So the next officer in the hallway hear me talking to him and push him out the way and coming to get me for whatever reason, I don't know. So when I see him push him out the way and he's walking to me, I watching him come up to me till he grab at my hand and I shift him and he stumble. Then the same one who was standing at the door now, I didn't know he was coming and he just knocked me to the floor, and then by this I know 4 of them is on top of me.
He alleges that despite repeated complaints about his health, the traumatic incarcerated experience did not stop.
My foot was swell, and they took me to the hospital, and the doctor prescribed me some medication. And then for what, 4 days, 5 days, no medication. I'm in pain every day, crying, till the nurse told me that the medication that the doctor prescribed for me, they cannot give it to me in jail. They don't serve that in jail.
Now, his plea goes beyond personal suffering. It's a call for justice and a desperate call for help, directed at Jamaican authorities and legal representatives.
I'm seeking the public help, sir, because it's very rough right now. I don't come with anything. I just come down in handcuff for no reason at all. I'm appealing to the lawyers, a criminal lawyer and a civil lawyer and an immigration lawyer who can help me with my case because I don't have no money.
Omari Wilson reporting for CVM News.
Charges are expected to be laid against the 2 bus drivers in Portmore St. Catherine after a viral video captured them recklessly racing along the main road. The Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch PSTEB says it's ramping up operations to clamp down on dangerous driving and restore order to the nation's roads.
Videos captured in sections of Portmore St. Catherine last month. Here, 2 bus drivers, clearly with passengers in their vehicles, locked in a street race. Both buses have since been seized by the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, PSTEB.
We have these 2 vehicles in custody right now, and we are in the process of administering charges to the drivers, and we have noted some issues with the vehicles wherein the owners are going to be held responsible as well.
Head of PSTEB, Acting Commissioner of Police, Dr. Gary McKenzie, is condemning the road behavior displayed in the videos.
We are very appalled to know that these persons who are supposed to be the guardian of the lives of persons, to include children and elderly, were behaving in the manner that they were actually doing.
Now, as at September 24, close to 300 Jamaicans were killed on the nation's roads since the start of the year. ACP Dr. Mackenzie says the surge in crashes continues to place a heavy burden on the health system. He adds that the branch will be stepping up operations in a renewed push to curb road fatalities.
We are intent as a police force to rid the roads of these kinds of practices, and we will do all that is possible legally to ensure that persons who behave in similar manner, that they lose their driver's license, either to suspension or revocation. We will continue to be out there on the roads, and we will continue to use the Jamaica Eye system to detect and prosecute drivers who behave in this manner.
Amoy Harriet reporting for CVM News.
Newly elected Member of Parliament for Central Westmoreland, Dwayne Vaz, says he has begun minor patching work to address the worsening road conditions across several communities in the constituency. Mr. Vaz told CVM News on Wednesday that the temporary measures are being carried out until he receives official funding to undertake proper road repairs.
Currently, we have lobbied the NAA already. We have spoken to the NWC, we have spoken to the Parish Council. The current situation is that, for example, in the NAA, there is currently no resources to do the patching that is necessary. So what we're doing is some temporary work to ensure that we can ease the burden of these potholes and stuff for the residents on the road.
Shadow Minister of Tourism Andrea Perkis is raising concerns about ongoing contract violations within the tourism industry, particularly those affecting hospitality workers. Ms. Perkis says a growing number of workers in hotels and other tourism-dependent establishments are facing unstable employment conditions. As Krystol Williams now reports, she's calling for greater oversight and reform to ensure that local workers receive fair treatment and long-term gains from the multi-billion-dollar sector.
Member of Parliament for Eastern Hanover, Andrea Perkis, believes there is a lot more potential for international and local recognition of the parish as a hub of hospitality.
Most of the major hotels in Negril, those hotels are actually in the parish of Hanover.
She also says those who work in hospitality in the parish need an advocate to look out for their needs, as they are currently facing challenges with the persistent use of contract employment.
Jamaicans can't afford 3 weeks or 2 weeks at home without pay. And that is something that is common within the industry, and that is something that I would like to place some focus on, because we want to see Jamaicans again benefiting from hospitality.
MP Perkis also highlighted the need for assistance to those working on transportation in and around the parish.
I've been having conversation with them, and they could certainly do with some assistance. You know, we've had a number of transportation companies that have started in Jamaica, and some of these transportation companies are within the walls of the hotels, but we do have Jamaicans that are paying for parking spaces in these resorts.
Ultimately, the MP believes addressing the issue will represent a powerful move towards the prosperity of the people of Hanover and the tourism sector at large.
My primary goal is first to look out for the locals and have them benefit some more where tourism is concerned, to get that tourism dollar trickled down to the households of the people, not just within Eastern Hanover, but within the sector.
Krystol Williams, CVM News.
More news when we return.
Every school is free of unhealthy, ultra-processed products. You know, those high in salt, fats, and sugar. If only that weren't a dream. The reality is that many children have an unhealthy diet at school, and 23% of them are overweight or obese. This can lead to hypertension, heart disease, and type 2 diabetes. Let's protect our children's right to health with a policy for schools that prevents unhealthy food marketing and ensures access to nutritious foods. The time is now. Let's implement the National School Nutrition Policy. A message from the Heart Foundation of Jamaica and
The new KFC Doritos Zinger, a combo that's finger-licking good. The time by KFC is
7:30. Everybody needs a helping hand, somebody to understand. In the end, we're all human. For people living with HIV, no discrimination. Here to support them through. Respect you as usual. Got to protect them too. When are your friend or your family? Somebody in your community. People living with HIV. Protect, accept, and respect people living with HIV. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Hi, I know you weren't expecting to see me here. Now you can find your favorite chicken and snacks in the same place. It's true. Come on in.
introducing the delicious combination of KFC fried chicken and Doritos nacho cheese. The KFC Doritos Zinger, a crunch that's finger-licking good.
Thanks so much for staying with us. You're just in time for a sports preview with Ronaldo Adams. Hi,
Good
Ronaldo.
evening, Nika, and good evening, viewers. So, as you teased in the headlines earlier, Dejon Richards, who is easily one of Jamaica's most talented youngsters currently, he was called into the Reggae Boys setup following the announcement of Demarai Gray's injury, and I personally am hoping to see him on the pitch for the Reggae Boys against Curaçao tomorrow. Of course, we will also have other features this evening, including on court, and we'll also be looking at the West Indies. Lots more to come for you in sports this evening.
All right. Thanks, Ronaldo. And if you're still with us, then leaders across the world are reacting to agreement on a Gaza ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas. We hear from France 24.
For 2 years, much of the world has been waiting for this moment. The news of a ceasefire deal in Gaza and promises for the release of the hostages. As Israelis and Palestinians gathered to express their joy in the streets, leaders across the globe chimed in. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas said he hoped the deal would be a prelude to a permanent political solution. Israel's Prime Minister expressed hope that the hostages would all be home. Donald Trump said blessed are the peacemakers. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, whose country played a role in the negotiations, thanked Donald Trump, Qatar and Egypt for facilitating the deal, which was met in Sharm el-Sheikh. Among European leaders, Italy's premier called it extraordinary news. In Arabic, Hebrew, French and English, Emmanuel Macron posted on X that the deal was a great hope for the hostages, their families, the Palestinians in Gaza and the entire region. Together to iron out a trade deal, Keir Starmer and Narendra Modi also praised the ceasefire.
Of the peace plan in Gaza. This is a moment of profound relief that we felt around the world, but particularly for the hostages, their families, and for the civilian population of Gaza, who have all endured unimaginable suffering over the last 2 years.
Ukraine conflict or Gaza ke mudde
On the issue of Ukraine and Gaza, India supports all efforts to restore peace through dialogue and diplomacy.
samarthan karta.
Lots more to come when we return.
It's time.
Welcome to High School Pitchside. We have another fascinating episode for you.
More matches, more big clashes.
Let's talk about some of the big rivalries coming up this week.
More of your favorite features.
And trust me, you won't fall asleep in this history class.
And of course, we always want to hear from you.
Hear from your alma mater's players and coaches in Team Talk.
You know we can't leave you out. So send us your messages on social media and watch us react on FanView.
And you know we love a good little debate, right, Gio?
We've got you covered all season long on High School Pitchside.
High School Pitchside, your ultimate guide to all things schoolboy football, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So glad you stayed. It's now time for the business report with Joel Crosskill.
We're on a mission in the business report today, as the British High Commission, in partnership with the Caribbean Council and the UK Department for Business and Trade, DBT, engaged the UK Trade Mission to Jamaica 2025, bringing together a high-level delegation of UK companies exploring opportunities in Jamaica. Chris Bennett, Managing Director of the Caribbean Council, a membership network for responsible international businesses and investors operating in the region, spoke of a potential signal of the growing interest in trade and investment in Jamaica.
And as an indicator of the increased business links between our two nations, I learned this morning that British Airways have recently added an extra flight each week to Kingston from London, predicated in part on a full business class cabin. Something is happening. We're very proud to have played our small part in that through this year's trade mission and the one that we brought last year.
Deputy High Commissioner at the British High Commission Jamaica, Jonathan Cook, recognised the acceleration in trade that has been taking place as Jamaica's positioning as a gateway to the wider Caribbean market was explored.
But in the last 4 years, it's grown by 40%. Just this year, one Jamaican tech sector business secured multiple contracts with UK buyers worth $3.6 million a year. As a direct result of this support. Through structures like these, trade can become more than just imports and exports and allow us to strengthen our relationship and deliver for both countries. Our hope is that this trade mission will result in yet more of that success. We are proud to host a dynamic delegation of UK companies representing waste management, education, infrastructure, agriculture and food, engineering and the logistics sectors. It's a privilege to welcome Incinerate, NC UK, Molam Group, NSG Exports Limited, Amy, and our country partner JP Logistics Solutions. Welcome to sunny, vibrant Jamaica, the business hub of the Caribbean.
Facilitated by agreements like the CARIFORUM UK Economic Partnership EPA, in addition to benefits from a range of policy advantages as it relates to Jamaica specifically, some of which were highlighted by Shalette Cox, president of Jamaica's premier trade and investment promotions agency, JAMPRO.
From administration to administration, regardless of who is in government, and my private sector partners here can attest to this, government policy remains consistent.